not a bad day for that.
I was going to say, usually it's some little duckies.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
We go with dolphins.
They just changed it.
Yeah. All right. And beautiful day, of course, that we saw with that great report. And there it is. Blue skies mostly, but some monsoon is definitely lingering out there. It was a little puffier, and now it's gone away. So some of the clouds are obviously drifting to the north and to the east. And otherwise, it's just a great day and a great way to end the weekend on that note right there. And there's the smoke. We are still dealing with some lake fire effect smoke. It will obviously be lingering for quite a while until the fire is completely out. If we put it into motion, it does vary from hour to hour, usually picking up a bit more toward the afternoon as we get a little more wind, and that kind of disperses the smoke. It's not really going anywhere. We're kind of in that time of year where a lot of our air mass sort of sits and is very stagnant. Again, the radar clear now. When I came in around 2 o'clock or so, it was real busy just to the east of, say, Santa Ynez, Los Alamos. Now, again, it has moved and shifted well to the east, more toward the southern Sierra. And temperatures are really nice. Look at this. We had a lot of 80s. It was only a few days ago where we had triple digits well into the afternoon and even well past sundown. Now, wind, big factor for the fire, of course. Always keeping an eye. Any wind is bad, but this is about as good as it gets with just breezes sub 20 miles an hour. And again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, trying to get as much of this humidity across the coastal plains. They, of course, run into the mountains and it stops, but some of it will sort of creep ever so farther inland and hopefully help with the fire suppression as we head through the overnight. A lot of warmth. Once you get east of the Rockies, they're going to be seeing some serious heat the next couple of days. And when I hit that button right there, you're adding the humidity, and everybody's numbers, especially once you get just to the east of this line right here, you get the dry heat this way, the wet moisture, and all that humidity really pumps up the temperatures. That's your feels like temperature where your body just cannot cool off and can actually get pretty dangerous. The heat dome, again, is expected to continue to shift more toward the central and eastern half of the country. It probably won't stay there. There's a good chance that we'll get some of it back in about maybe 5 to 7 days, but for now it looks great. Monsoon, of course, always keeping an eye on that. It looks like now it's shifting a bit more to the east as that high giving us the dome of warmth also moves. It will likely take some of that with it, and it looks like the tropics right now are quiet. In the Atlantic, we know we had Beryl, and in the Pacific, the Eastern Pac, we haven't really got on board yet. And overall, though, it's quiet, and as we look up at our monsoon, still pretty busy, but again, for us, it's really shifted out of the area, and you can see the light gray. That's the marine layer, which has taken front and center stage. Now, going with our wind map over the next 24 to 48 hours, again, it stays fairly quiet. It gets a little breezy in the afternoons. You can kind of see the times right there, but for the most part, we don't see anything getting too dramatic, so that's good news for the fire. Patchy fog could linger for some of the beaches. I know it did today, so some reduced visibilities. You see that less than 1 mile along the central coast. Down along the Oxnard Plain, we see those 10s popping up by the afternoon, which means we do expect to see some clearing once we get into the afternoon. All right, temperatures overnight, not too bad for sleeping weather. Tomorrow afternoon, warm but not overly hot. It looks like a nice day out there. A lot of 60s and 70s near the beaches, and inland areas will go with some 80s and 90s. Maybe a triple digit tries to sneak in around California Valley, and as we head toward Tuesday, possibly a degree or two up from that. All right, there's your South Coast highs into the 60s and 70s right on the beaches, more 60s than 70s. You get inland just a bit, you start to lose the ocean influence, and you see more 70s and a few 80s popping up, and it looks like around Paso Robles will go to a 92. California Valley, I don't think that's correct. I think the computer missed a degree or two there. Should be more toward the 90s, but it looks like they want to go with 69. I'm going to check that out and see if I can fix it. And for the Oxnard region and Ventura, we'll go with an 86 around Ojai, back out toward the beaches, right about 70 degrees. Surf, fortunately, is expected to come up out of the southern hemisphere over the next couple of days, and it looks like a decent little swell. And there's your 7-day forecast. Again, could see some warming toward the end, and I see another computer error. I just saw Santa Barbara, they put 100 at the end. I'm gonna have to get in there and fix that because we don't see 100 showing up in Santa Barbara in 1 week's time. I think the computer got a little zealous with a warming trend. And again, we're expecting to see a really great week as we head through the middle of July, but maybe some warming by next weekend. We'll be right back.